Hello YouTube, Proxy here, and we have a lot to go over in this enormous news update with new shop details, 2 live stream recaps, and followed by a chunky dose of community news for those who haven't been able to keep up with the latest information. But before we begin, a generic disclaimer that the game is still in pre-alpha and some of the topics discussed in this video are subject to change, and while some of this information is from official sources, not everything in this video has been officially announced and may change over time. Opinions stated in my videos or content are of my own and do not represent Intrepid's viewpoint or outlook. So with Alpha 0 taking place between the 15th and 17th of December, testers are poised to get their hands on the game. And while supposedly the NDA is still currently in place, it seems that we'll be getting a live stream from Intrepid on the 15th, so maybe they will show off some content in that stream, so it might be possibly worth checking out then. The stream will be on the 15th of December at 3 PM PST. The final emails for Alpha 0 should be sent out soon, and in the event that you won a key and haven't received your Alpha email or the email survey, then you should be contacting support via the website support ticket function. Next up we have the new cash shop packages. You can now buy packages with access to the alpha and beta stages, cosmetics, and they all come with subscription time. In an attempt to keep this news update short, I'll cover what's in these packages in another video, much like I did with the Kickstarter ones. Also regarding merchandise on the shop, delivery issues seem to have been resolved at last. Also with the website, Intrepid Studios have released 2 blogs, the first one in regards to taverns, labelled The Mighty Beard, and goes into details how they want taverns to work and function inside the game. The second blog focuses more on Ash's political system with the title City Hall, and lays out details surrounding the leadership of government and their hopes of implementing such things into the game. Both are worth taking the time to read, so check them out if you haven't done so already. So let's move on to recapping not 1, but 2 live streams extremely quickly for those that lack the time to watch them, starting with the Halloween live stream. First we had a studio tour of nearly all the staff in costume, not to point fingers, but a couple of people slacked off in this area. Peter attempted to cosplay a Death's proxy, but I don't think he quite got the level of entitlement and opinionated demeanour quite down yet, but certainly an A for effort. Also, things got a little sexually political. Clearly, Vladimir is putting it all in the right places. I will link the full video below just in case you missed it. Things became more focused on the game after this studio tour. They talked about social buildings in Ashes, taverns, community centres and bulletin boards. As the game won't contain an automated looking for group finder, players will need to socialise to form groups. And to assist in this feature, the game will have a locally based node bulletin board, which can be used for a multitude of things such as hiring people for job tasks, finding people to go on quests with or dungeon delve with, gathering items for people and completing tasks for other players too. They will also contain story arcs which can be unlocked at the node mayor's discretion and lay out tasks required to unlock more story arcs, as well as other types of quests. And taverns might be the only way to actually acquire quests in general, creating taverns as social hubs of the game, though this isn't quite set in stone yet. And taverns will also act as a social hub for arranging and playing parlour games involving dice and card games, one-on-one and group play, and even racial specific parlour games too. You might also find new parlour games out in the world from ancient ruins. A lot of these details are mentioned in the Mighty Beard blog post, so go read it if you haven't. Battle maps were also announced, though the system isn't in the current developer roadmap. They are certainly considering the idea though. The concept is to have strategic battle maps for raid leaders to use in PvP or possibly even PvE to organised forces and attack designated points, using an interactive map to do so, adding possibly a new depth to organised large-scale PvP and possibly even PvE. And as someone who has raid led in the past, I found this concept particularly interesting, but I'm not sure how popular it would be, especially if the ones interacting with the map can't be involved in the battle itself. And this reveal quickly moved on to footage of Alpha 0 environments, showing off mushroom forests, regular forests, valleys, rivers, gateways, deserts, ruins, tundra and snowy environments. A very good selection of biomes for a very small part of the game for sure. And at the end of the stream, the winners of the Halloween event were announced, but considering everyone got a key whether they won or not, basically means everyone won for just showing up. And that's pretty much it for a quick recap of the Halloween stream, so let's move on to the next stream which took place on the 17th of November. This contained some extra information on Alpha 0 with currently over 1,200 players in this alpha. The alpha test will take place over 3 days, but not for 24-hour periods. There will be different time slots for tests. Players involved will fill out surveys for those time slots. Testing will be mostly aimed at correcting errors on the back end, how many players can function in a zone currently, key systems, initial node testing, among some other minor features. The details were followed by an announcement of the website being redone. And so far only a couple of parts of the website have actually been redone, so hopefully by next year they'll have it somewhat professional looking. Maybe even one day it might function correctly on a mobile phone. I mean, come on Intrepid, fix the damn website already, jeez. Pretty sure community member Tug of War would do it for free at this point, right Tug? Now in the next part of the stream they talked about the blog post City Hall which I mentioned earlier. As I said earlier, it's worth a read, but to summarise quickly if you don't want to read, City Halls will be a major focal point of every node. This building will be responsible for all major node decisions, ability to create alliances, improve relations with other nodes. This includes trade agreements, treaties, war declarations, denouncing outlaws of other nodes, collecting taxes, and allocation of taxed funds. It will also determine how nodes grow, how big it can grow, what kind of cultures will develop, and the leadership that manages it, which will fall into 4 government types: military, economic, religious, and scientific. That's the short version anyway. Also announced was the development of a mobile app that will allow you to do various tasks in-game, such as interacting with your crop rotation, kiosks you own, mayorly duties, paying taxes, potentially some gathering tasks such as fishing, and playing tavern games. You can also supposedly use this app to access account details, stats, and in-game information to boot. And here is a whole host of images, works in progress, and concept art to enjoy. This wraps up the main news section, but if you want more details on the live streams, don't forget you can check out the AoCWiki.net for a compiled list of information on the streams as well as large amounts of documented material on the game. Alternatively, you could just go and watch the live streams. In terms of community news, there's a few things to mention. First, there was a guild summit organised by one Mr. Pragmatic. Ultimately, the summit turned into Mr. Pragmatic having an issue with another guild leader involving an issue that wasn't even related to the game, and definitely wasn't worth gathering over 50 people to attend. And this resulted basically in the summit becoming essentially a community meme. And all we learned was that Mr. Pragmatic is 23, pays his bills and has a car. If you wish to listen into this 45-minute long clown fest, I will provide a link below. Now, I don't think a summit or a meeting like this is inherently a bad idea, but if it is done, I'd prefer to see it go through official mediums, much like EVE Online's CSM, which has people from the community elected into these positions to represent the community's thoughts and desires for the game. The CSM members are then sponsored and given benefits from the company in return for the contribution, time and effort for doing this job. And that's a great way for the game to officially support a summit or a game-based panel. However, a summit consisting of self-appointed individuals, no thanks, because if someone is going to represent community interests, they should be chosen or elected by that community. That's my opinion. Alongside this, we had some drama between the Wikipedia sites for Ashes. There was some discrepancy over some people promoting content over others, which led to some intense disputes taking place. The information all comes from the same source pretty much. Personally, I prefer AoCWiki.net at the moment, but as I said, it doesn't really matter which you use as all the information is from the same place. So just go to whatever format or layout you prefer. And finally, in regards to community news, we have an amazing community both on the Discord and the forums. But that also means some of you are kind-hearted and willing to help those in need, and due to the nature of the internet, there might be some people, as in on any online community, that might try to take advantage of your generous nature. And there has been a couple of incidents where people have pretended to be in a dire situation financially and requested support for their personal life under false pretenses, and are in fact just looking for a way to make a quick buck. So just from me to you guys, think twice before sending people any financial aid to individuals over the internet regardless of whatever platform it's on. There are people out there that just want to scam you. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this news update. If you will be playing Alpha Zero, maybe you'll be seeing me in game. If you want to see more updates, don't forget to like, subscribe and drop a comment below. And as always guys, thank you for watching.